Here we are.
Yeah, so we are live now. So good evening.
We are. Hello. Good evening, Philippines.
Hey, Jamie Allan in the house. Everybody, let's give him a round of applause.
Oh, thank you. A virtual round of applause.
Yeah,
We're all
virtual.
going to have to get used to that.
Oh yeah. So,
It won't be long before we all have sound effects on our phones.
yeah, technology really is different now. You can do a lot of things. So we have one thumbs up now. What's one watching? So Jamie, like what I said, no, I just want to say thank you for your time. I know I just messaged you, I think yesterday, and
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're welcome. We're all in the same boat, really. I mean, I know that it's a little more advanced in the Philippines than in England, but we are getting to the same situation here right now. Everybody is being advised to stay in their homes. The theaters are closed, the bars and the restaurants are closed.
and we've been and we've
And they're trying their best.
yeah, we've been hearing a lot of news also in London, right? So
Yeah,
that's why I hope everything will this will pass. We're all gonna go through this, and it's gonna be over. For all you
it
know.
will. And, it's kind of comforting to know that we all go through it together, hey?
Yeah. That's true. So Ruben, I just want to give a shout out to Ruben Lardizabal. Ruben is a is one of famous magician here. He's from the
Oh,
province in
wow.
Cagayan de Oro. So that's Ruben.
Oh, cool. Hi.
Ruben, this is
Yeah,
Jamie.
I know so many, I know community. But a lot of the people when I used to work on cruise ships all the time, lots of stuff. So
Yeah.
I probably only know the bad words.
Can you say one bad words? No, not the bad
Oh,
words.
what is it? No, I won't. I won't do it now. I know a few.
Okay, so let me just start the ball rolling. Okay, so for those who are watching, Jamie Allan is, you've seen him in Penn, Full Us. He toured around the world. In you did these shows are in Vegas, right? The one in YouTube. Those are
I've done a few
in
different
the
shows in
US. In
America. Most of
America.
my shows,
Are
my land-based shows are in the US. I used to work a lot in England. I'm from London. I live in London,
Yeah, I
and
know.
I split my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm working more and more in America now. But who knows when that will start again? But
Yeah.
hopefully not too.
Yes. Oh, lockdown today. Lockdown today in the
Yeah,
US.
yeah.
so so Jamie, I just want to ask you first now. So like, everyone started somewhere. Like me, I started when I was 8, and then I quit my job when I was 2010 from the corporate
Oh,
executive
cool.
world. Yeah, I'm an executive in a telecom company. And then of course I started doing children's party magic. Did you start like that as well? Can you tell us how you started? Just a brief
Pretty
story.
much the same thing. Yeah, I'll do it briefly because I think a lot of our stories are all very similar. But
Yeah.
in my case, yeah, a magic set when I was 5. But it was because I saw a magician when I was 5. My parents used to run a little theater. It
Oh,
sounds bigger than it was when I say it like that, but actually they had like a pub. And they built a theater in there that seated 150, and I did my first show in there when I was 8. So I was always brought
eight
up
years
around show
old in front
business.
of 150, but you own the theater.
Yeah, well, I didn't, but my parents did. Yeah,
Wow.
so that was great because I had kind of my own space, and I was very, very lucky with that. So I was professional since I was 16, but I was always as interested in the business side of it as much as because my passion is magic, and I live for it, as we all do, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
the real thing for me was looking at it of how to sell tickets and how to market a venue and how to run it. So that's come in useful in my later life. But since I was 16 years old, I've been a professional magician.
Yeah.
But then in the meantime, I did all of everything: close-up magic, children's parties, everything when I was young. And I think I did my last children's show when I was maybe 21. So going on 20 years.
Okay.
But
How old are you? How young are you
I have
now?
kids now, so I did a magic show last year,
Yes.
and I had to do a kids show again.
So how young are you now? Hello.
I'm 43.
Oh, well.
Yeah, hi Jay. Yeah, I'm
I'm kind of older.
43 now.
Yeah, that's good. We're in the same page. So Jamie, yeah, we started with that. So during that time, I mean, when did you start with a free charge? I mean, you don't get paid or
Yeah, when I started, I was just doing it for wherever I could. I mean, I would get some money for doing a few little shows
mm,
here and there, but nothing major. When I started, I was 16 and I was working in a holiday park. I don't know if you have the equivalent of that in the
okay.
Philippines, but it was like a place where everybody goes, like a big hotel.
Mm,
They all stay there and they do shows each night. like a cruise ship on land.
Okay.
But then I was doing everything, helping call the quizzes and everything you have to do to be in show business.
Mm.
And then the next year I was touring around, but just at these places, these holiday parks, driving from one to the other, doing my show, not for much money.
Yeah.
And a lot of hard work in those days. Some terrible shows, some terribly hard gigs.
So
Do you call them gigs in the Philippines?
Yeah, we call them shows, we call them gigs, but we call them events. Yeah. So during
Yeah.
the time, who's like, is there any famous magician that influenced you, or any magician?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was always, I mean, I was always interested in stage magic. So, and when I was growing up, I'm sure it was the same with you, JB, that more of the magic that I was exposed to was on stage.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if kids are growing up, they're seeing a lot of close-up magic and a lot of stuff that's smaller, and that's brought this huge amount of people into our industry, which is great, and it's
Yeah.
helped it develop. But when we were young, if you saw something on TV, it was going to be somebody performing stage magic. So that's what I want
Stage
to do.
magic. Yeah, yeah. So, like, is it safe? Like for
For me,
me,
it was always Paul.
Paul Daniels, Jamie. Yeah. Okay, I think he's hanging up. He got you connected. Call you back. Okay.
Yeah, hi, I can hear you, JB.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
when I lost you there, but I just saw it just dropped off for a moment.
So it was, you say, Paul Daniels. Am I correct?
Paul Daniels, yeah, Wayne Dobson, Doug Henning, David Copperfield, the obvious people.
Yeah. For me, it's Do Henning and David C. Yeah.
Yeah.
David C.
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was. It
I
was
still,
really
I
fun.
love David Copperfield. Who doesn't? I just went to see his show again in January. I've seen it so many times in Las Vegas. The new show is amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jao yesterday, and he just finished an interview with David Copperfield. I think
Yeah, that's right.
he already published it, and then he's gonna
Yeah,
be
I watched it this morning.
yeah, and I think it's really be talking to me also next week. So, Jamie, that's a very nice of you to share that, and I think we all had our own humble beginnings. Did you ever finish, like, did you go to did you finish any course in school, or?
Not really. I left school when I was 16,
Mm,
just as my exams were going on.
okay.
I didn't do further education at the time because I knew that I really wanted to do this, and there was a lot of teachers that were advising me against it, but I was so
Mm,
determined. And I would give the same advice to kids now. I would say, look, you want to you want to
yeah.
study, but for me, I was kind of lucky. I had a leg up because my parents were in the business, and I knew what was going to happen. I mean, I never had any sort of financial leg up because it was a tough time back then.
Mm,
There was a big recession, and
yeah.
my parents lost a lot of money in one of the businesses, but they always managed to keep going.
Mm,
But the theatre was a tremendous business. They sold that, and they sort of regretted it because that was probably the most successful thing they ever did.
oh,
Um, it was at a time, though, when live entertainment was still really a thing in England. People would go
yeah.
out
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, and want to be
Yeah.
entertained. Nowadays, it's really hard to sell tickets. You have to have really an angle.
And I guess nowadays the technology dictates the difference, dictates also the tempo and how things are going. Like in events, like this one that we're
Yeah,
doing, it's online. It's on the cloud. Everything is on the cloud. Especially like
I know. Everybody is exposed to everything now. It's only a click away, and that's a big difference with magic because if you rewound to the period we're talking about in the
mm,
90s and early 2000s,
yeah,
before YouTube and things started to become a real thing,
yeah,
um, in those days, magicians could use sort of stock routines, and the audience would perceive they were seeing it for the first time. Whereas now they're so exposed to so much magic
yeah,
that originality is the key. I
yeah.
never understand it when I watch a show like Got Talent and
Why?
somebody does something on there, and then the
Yeah,
next day all the magicians are saying, "Where can I buy this trick?" And I think it's not going to get you anywhere.
mm,
Occasionally, a little TV, I do the odd marketed trick, and
yeah,
of
yeah,
course, but success now has got to be in doing something original. It has to be.
yeah. But I think also now is also like if everyone's going with the flow. So like this talent
Yeah.
shows, well, there's nothing bad about it because
No, it's a great format,
yeah, if it's gonna
great
give you,
exposure.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, you just need to be like the person, be the right person to represent magic, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really now about the personality of the performer, and the magic is disposable because
It
in
is.
the old days it had more worth. But the magic on those kind of shows, once it's done, it's exposed. That doesn't
Yeah,
mean that you can't go out and perform it still,
yeah.
but and maybe not so many people see it. But I think the people that matter know, the agents and the bookers,
Mm,
and certainly if you're trying to promote your own shows and you need to get people to
mm.
have faith in you to give you some money to allow you to do it, then you need to provide something that nobody else is providing,
Yeah, you have
and
to
that's
be.
really, really hard.
You have to
And
be.
it's really difficult because we work on a routine for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and sometimes it just fails. It's just the audience, they
It,
don't
it,
really
it
like it.
happened.
It
That
happens a
happened. It
lot.
happens a lot. But the audience doesn't know about
That's
it.
the good thing about this time right now. I'm already working on 3 routines that I meant to put into my show 2 years ago, and I
Yeah.
never found the time. And finally, we have the gift of
I know.
time.
Same
So
here. Same here. I'm like,
yeah,
it's a blessing. There's a pros and cons, but I think it's also giving us a break. Because
yeah, totally.
I'm not saying that it's okay for this to happen, but if this didn't happen, maybe we're all gonna be running like rats, like every day, boom, 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 and then no time for
Yeah,
to relax and to no
hopefully
time
we're
for
going to see some
creativity.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're hopefully going to see some great new magic as a result of this. That's
yeah,
my hope.
definitely. So you told us about your first gig. So you were
Yeah,
16, yeah, and so you did kids party in the UK
yeah.
a
I,
lot.
I actually really enjoyed doing children's parties when I was younger.
Until today,
Yeah, until today. Yeah,
of
I did
course,
it.
there's some market.
The last children's party I did was 20 years ago. Apart from the one I did for my son
Mm.
last year, and that was great.
Yeah,
And I was trying to pull out the old stuff, because I have in my magic room. I still have some of the old props, dice
I saw
boxes and
it. I'm
things
seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
that I used when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I built this like it's like my little magic shop in here.
Is this your magic room? we
Yeah, yeah, it's
now.
my office, and I collect Tenyo magic.
Yeah,
Is that a
Tenyo.
big thing in the Philippines?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I like it. I have a lot of
yes.
Tenyo also.
So I have most of the Tenyo here.
Mm.
Certainly all the old ones. I love those things. You can't show them to anybody
No, no,
really,
no.
but I'm going to put a few
No,
online over the
but
next
some
few
of the
weeks.
Tenyo magic are good for close up. I mean, they could be used for
Some
close
of
up.
it,
Yeah, most of it.
some of it
Yeah,
can be used for close up. A lot of it is too proppy,
it's too
and
proppy.
but some of the things are
But they're
amazing.
visual.
You know,
Like they have a new
yeah,
one, the Notable. That's Tenyo.
yeah,
Have you seen that? Yeah, I bought
that's
three
really good.
because they.
I've got it.
I
I've
bought
got it
three.
over here. I haven't looked at it yet. I
Yeah,
opened
it's
it
good.
up.
It's good. Yeah. Uh, so your influencers, you say David Copperfield, Paul Daniels, and then Do Hennings, and then Wayne Dobson. So I just want to ask right now, like, so when you, of course, there are marketed effects, right? But when I watch your show, there are some acts that you do that I can say are yours. I mean, you created them. How? So what's your inspiration in doing this
Well, so
personality?
the stuff that we do, it either falls into 3 categories. Some marketed effects that I've been doing for a very long time,
Mm,
and I just revolve those in and out of the
okay.
show. So sort of the historic things, and I know they work, so I include a certain
Mm,
amount of them, maybe 1/3 in
okay.
the show, and then the rest of it is split between stuff which is completely original or things that we have changed so much. So,
Yeah.
for instance, I do a thing with the Dean Dill's explosion, the trick with the 16 coins. It's like a matrix.
Oh,
And
is that is that
I
is,
do that with
is that on
yeah, I
YouTube?
do that with video mapping.
It's video.
So
Yeah, I saw that with the
yeah,
AR.
it's not currently in the show that now. Yeah, it's out the show at the moment,
Yeah,
but I have a new thing
I like
that's
that.
gone into its place.
I like that bell. I
And
like that, and the iPad.
yeah, the problem with the coins was that it was a little too clever.
Yeah.
The audience, I don't think they knew exactly what they were watching. Magicians loved it because they understood the
Oh,
trick.
really?
So
So that's how
yeah,
you see it. You think audience are not like
it
really?
was too much, because I'm asking them to not only understand that there's no trick photography,
Yeah,
but then when they see all this visual and stuff, they just think that they're either watching a pre-recorded video or it's too much. So I backed it off a little bit. I had
yeah,
to actually make it worse to make it better, if you
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
I had to
yeah.
simplify it more because it needs a very simple process. And I know this, but it
Yeah.
still doesn't stop me from trying.
So
Um,
yeah, right now, Jamie, you are. For those who are watching, you can throw the questions. I'll give the go signal. I'll give you time for the questions. So I see some questions
okay,
on the comment section. So we're gonna go to that later. So Jamie, right
sure.
now, like both of us, like me, I do a lot. I can say like 80% are corporate. I do a lot of corporate. I haven't done a show in a cruise ship. Okay, were some cruise ship getting me, but I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. And you go a lot on a cruise ship. How's life
I
there,
do a
man?
lot in the summertime. I
Yeah.
do a lot. I
Like,
work
how long do you stay there?
almost not very long now. I work almost exclusively for Royal Caribbean, but I fly out and I do the show and I get off as soon as the itinerary of the cruise will allow. So sometimes it's one night.
Oh,
I'll
that's
fly there,
fast.
get on the ship, do the show that night, and come home.
Oh,
But
that's good.
most of the time, average, it's about a 3-day turnaround.
That's still quick. That's like an out of town show here. Like when you.
Yeah, yeah, it's not too bad at all, and it's regular, and I can choose them. I have a good relationship with them. They're a wonderful company to
That's
work
nice.
for. Also, some of the cruise lines they don't look after you as well. Royal Caribbean, their accommodations are great.
That's
Their
nice.
theatres are
That's nice.
fantastic. And they really respect entertainment on there, and I think that's the reason why they have some of the best entertainment in the world. And I'm proud to perform for them. And I work for them in the summer months a lot, and then in the winter time we do our iMagician show
Yeah.
on land.
On land.
So we usually end the year working up to the next run of those shows because there's a lot of preparation in those shows with the ticket sales and everything else.
So there's tickets. Like so, if I go on the Caribbean, it doesn't.
Oh no, not
it's
on
not
the ship.
Ah,
Not on the ship. You can come in. Some of the
okay.
biggest ships, you have to get a ticket, but they're free just because of the amount of people.
Yeah.
But but no, what I mean is, I spend my summer when I'm working on the ships preparing our winter show when we're going to work on land with iMagician.
Okay. Yeah, the iMagician.
iMagician is the theatre show, and when I go on the ships, I am Jamie, the iMagician. And when the show is on land, the show is iMagician
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah. So you were in the Blackpool, right? You were there.
Yeah, I was there this year.
Did you
I tried to
perform?
go.
Did you perform there?
I did a lecture this year.
You did
Which
lecture
was my
there.
second time I ever did a lecture. I was really worried about it. I don't know
Why?
anybody who's watching would have seen it. Well, because I don't lecture much, and I really thought it's very hard because I was going to lecture about some technologies, and I didn't want to do things that were too hard for people
Yeah.
or also too obvious.
Yeah.
And I felt that some things were, going to be over the heads if they weren't into the technology, and other things may seem too easy. And it was hard to find a balance. And I was convinced that it wasn't going to go that well. I was just really hoping some people would come. The room was absolutely packed. I was so honoured about it, and
I think you posted it. Someone posted it.
Yeah, I was genuinely shocked. The response I got for the things was just.
Congratulations.
It was amazing. I said afterwards,
A round of
right, I'm
applause.
never going to do a lecture again because it's never going to go that well.
No. So how about?
I'm sure I will.
But you have a booth. You're selling. You sell something. You offered something there, right? And I inquired to you. Did you?
Yeah, that's right.
How many products did you offer? Like, is this your creations
Oh,
or?
yeah, some of them. I'm letting some things start to go now because I have enough material that some things I'm selling now. My digital art. I have one right here.
Yeah.
I have a
I
few
love
of
that.
these.
Oh my gosh! Is that my unit?
Yeah, we have some of these are going out on Monday. So I have I started to sell the digital art illusion,
That's
and I also have a new illusion called iZag, which is a mini version of my split screens. I don't know if you've seen that, JB, but it's like a tall cabinet where the girl goes in 4 televisions.
Yeah, I saw it
We
on the
made a
video.
small version. Yeah, we made a small version with 2 TVs that can pack up very small and go into the back of a car. And this is a really good market.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. It's really deceptive. And then also I sell some stuff to do with, performing close-up magic with video cameras and how to use QLab. I sell a thing about how to operate show control systems. But yeah, I'm going to release a few things over the time now because I'm really enjoying working with magicians.
Yeah.
I'm really really
So
enjoying it.
we are all waiting for that. Do you have a plan to join a talent show?
No, not at the moment. No, I'm doing. I'm talking with some people about some TV at the moment, which may happen later in the year. But the our next plan is to move the show back to the United States. We've had to move some engagements at the moment
That's the
because of this whole
iMagician.
situation. Yeah, so up until now, we've been dropping the show in and doing a shorter run,
Yeah.
maybe 18, 20 shows in one venue
That's
and
a
then
lot.
moving to the next one.
That's good.
And we're either going to drop it in somewhere and leave it for a little while, or we are going to tour the show. But we're just trying to decide right now because the situation is changing every day now.
Yeah. So
We
Jamie,
were supposed to do something later in the year, but we already kind of put it on hold for the moment till we know.
yeah. So it seems to me that you are producing the shows, right? So is there any like event organizers or agencies who's like the one putting up the show and then they're just gonna get you as a talent? Is there you have something
Not
like
exactly. No, it's a little confusing. When you're talking about a show that's a ticketed show, then we are the producer of the show or the co-producer. So when we do theatre shows in England, we are the producer. When we are in another country, we have a promoter who is also a producer, and that promoter usually helps deal with all the marketing and the ticket sales. And it's a big thing, and it's not something I could do by myself because if it fails, it would be very very costly, and it's not always a guarantee that it will work. When we did Chicago, they have to spend a lot of money, more than $500,000 just to market the show, just to advertise it. And that's not the kind of money that I can spend on something like that.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But it took me a long time to find the people that can help me do that, because and that comes back to what I was saying, that really the key to that is finding something original.
Yeah, that's good.
There'll be people out there now that probably go, oh, this works. He's doing a technology show. Maybe I can do that. But and they can. But then it won't be the same because it's already established. They're always looking for the next thing.
For the next thing.
What is going to be? What do they think is new or original?
Yeah. So Jamie, who's your magician friend there? Do you hang out to a lot of magic clubs, or are you part of one?
Oh yeah. And I've got loads of good friends here in the UK, and I'm a member of the Magic Circle.
Oh,
Which,
are you good friends with the illusionist guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some of my best friends are illusionists,
like Lloyd and Geraint. Yeah.
Particularly in the UK. Obviously, David Penn, you'll know through
David Penn
stuff, but he's also an illusionist, and he's great. He's a very good friend of mine.
Is Ryan Tricks? Are you guys? Do you guys know each other? Like Dynamo?
I don't know Ryan personally. I think I've met him on a couple of occasions, but for no other reason that we've never really crossed paths in what we do.
Yeah.
I'm friends with a lot of the guys that work out of the UK circuit. Ben Hart, Adam Heppenstall.
Yeah.
Of course, my friend Sean Alexander and some of the guys that work the circuits around here.
Yeah, but I hope to see your show in Netflix, man.
Yeah,
the iMagician. That's gonna be great.
You never know.
You never know, man. So speaking of all these magicians, right? So, you've been there 16 years. 16. You started 16. We're almost in the
16.
same
So
age.
25 years, over 25 years now.
So I'm sure you can say the difference between before the magic industry and now. So what do you think is magic today? What do you think about magic today?
I think it's what we said earlier. It's become more about the personality of the performer than it has about the tricks.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, it was all about creating mystery. And it was more about the darkness of it, and the magician was always something that was, in the early days of Copperfield, because of course that's what everybody did, was they copied David Copperfield's style. When I was young, it was always the dancing before the illusion, and it was never great. It was always you've got to stay ahead. Now there's a big push in the world right now, about even gender neutrality, which is really important, is something we're going to see more of in our industry.
Yeah.
And my show is pretty much gender neutral now, and we and my assistants are not my assistants. They're my partners, and they talk and they converse with us in the show, and everybody is equal, and it's really important. And I've moved more and more things out of the show that come across like that in recent years.
How many?
Even down now just to my soar. I used to do the Clearly Impossible, the soaring in half with the crystal boxes, which I got from Daniel Summers. But now, even now, I take that out of the show. Pendragon, Jonathan Pendragon.
Yeah.
And then that one, I even now I take that out of the show because it comes across as kind of old. It's almost.
Yeah.
It's almost not right to do it. Just the idea of sawing a woman in half is not really relevant, I don't think, in today's market.
But you know what? Really. What I think about it is, for me, if you're gonna ask me, I want to bring back the classic, because people do that. No one's doing it now. Like the classic, those classic. If you bring it out now on stage, people are gonna wow, because now they see.
It's absolutely true.
They miss that.
And you have to just find a new way of presenting it. I think gone is the time of somebody coming onto the stage and dancing around and getting into an illusion, and then you present it. I think that is a very tired format, and there are new ways of doing it. And I know a couple of ways of presenting it, and I think people will work out their own ways to make sure that it sits okay in today's market, because times have changed. And magic acts can look dated, but you're right. The classics, the tricks themselves, can still work. They just need to be reframed.
Yeah. So, Jamie, your team, how many assistants do you have?
I have 3.
You have 3 only?
Yeah.
Really?
On the stage, on the stage we only have 3. The audience mostly see me and 2 others, and then we have our technical staff as well.
You don't use dancers?
But actually.
Dancers?
No. I think it's too. It looks like old-fashioned
for you.
For what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
It's not.
Because I see.
So there's no. The girls are dancers, so they know how to move and hold themselves and present. But there is no dancing in the show.
Okay, that's good. So it's really more like, kind of, what do you call this? It's not a fancy,
there's a lot of technical stuff on our set and our show. I mean, it's more about the production value of our show comes more from the lighting and the set. We carry, we carry an awful lot of moving lights and big screens, and our stage set is reasonably clever in the way that it operates. So it can go into many different theaters, and it creates a really nice look, and it's all about, it frames the magic perfectly. It's the set is designed around the show.
Correct.
And so more of our production value comes from what we take around than the actual illusions, because in the show now we don't do so many illusions.
So you do interactions also, like interactive, like audience volunteer.
A lot of it is things with the audience and magic that happens with the audience.
I actually like your act, man. Because you almost we did the same, because that I do lasers, right, and you know that, so it's like wow. But I don't have those things that you have, man. So that's why it's
over a long time we got it all together.
Yeah. So
over a long time.
So Jamie, what do you think is the future of Jamie Allan? What will you be doing?
Well,
what's your plan?
I am not. I do this because I love it. So I need to make money so that I can keep doing it.
Same.
But I'm more interested in. I'm not so interested in fame. I've never really sought it. I've never tried very hard. I mean, I've done some television, but the TV that I've done has usually been to promote something else. I think I'm going to be doing a bit more of it this year, but I don't. It's not something it's not a medium that I really want to be in. But I'm more interested in live theatre. So I think that the future for us is we will settle into one venue, and we will stay there as long as possible.
It's going to be like the Jamie Allan Theatre, something like that.
That's the goal. Yeah, that's what we're.
You're going back to what your parents started.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And nothing too big either. I don't want, we're looking at something, under 500 seats, ideally, and something that we can maintain and keep it going, and somewhere that we can create,
Yeah.
and a space that we can work, and we can present new stuff. Because I try to change about 30% of the show every year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really quite a lot. But it comes up as around about 3 big routines
Mm-hmm.
every year.
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where I'm almost starting to bring things back from 4 or 5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and change them
That's
for a
good.
new month, and update them. So there's kind of a revolve there as well,
That's
but
a
always
good.
trying to find the next thing.
That's a good tip. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, finally, after like last year when we did the show in Chicago, was the first time that I suddenly had more material than we needed.
How long do you do the
It's
show?
all on brand.
How long is the
In America,
iMagician?
it's about 80 minutes, 85
Eight
minutes
zero. So
straight.
almost 2 hours. Straight. There's no break.
But no interval. We go straight through in America, and then we will do 2 and sometimes 3 shows in the day.
Wow.
But it's straight through. In England, we do it. There's an interval because at British theatres they want you to have the interval so they can have the bar.
Yeah, they can have.
Um,
Also.
yeah, the American theatres, they don't mind going straight through, and I prefer going straight through. We sometimes can do it. We can do it with an interval, but I prefer the model. I think shorter is better. I'm actually trying to bring the show to 75 minutes straight through, so it's just power, because people's attention span isn't what it was. They want something that is quick. They would like to have a night out, go and
That's
see
true.
dinner. I'm seeing a lot of shows appearing that are an hour
Oh,
now.
that's too dragging, right?
I'm seeing a lot of shows that are just 1 hour long, and I think they're appealing to people because, especially if they don't know
It's
the
fast,
person in the
yeah.
show, they think, "Oh, it's just an hour; it'll be fun."
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But some people are really put off if they see the show is 2 hours 40
They
minutes
go like,
plus interval. Wow, this is going to be too much.
yeah,
If I
that's
don't,
good. That's good. Yeah, you have to
yeah,
better make it short, sweet, and quick, right? Yeah.
good,
And
yeah.
so they can
People would
be.
much rather see something short that is great
Yeah.
than somebody trying to fill the time, and I
But
think that's really valuable for all of us.
But in my experience, sometimes Jamie Allen, when you do an interactive show, it's longer because when you go get the volunteer, then the volunteer goes to the stage, and then you guys connect, and then
Always.
it's more fun. Like there's
Yeah,
comedy in it. Sometimes it's longer, so you cannot control it also. But as performer, I try to manage it and just like okay, that's
yeah.
enough. Go with the magic.
My show gets longer as the run goes on. So if we start off a season and the show was say 75 minutes,
Yeah.
the show will be 80, 85 minutes. It will keep getting longer
Yeah.
because you get more comfortable with it, and you start the routines, they start to expand.
That's true. So
Yeah.
Jamie, do you have anything to share with us? To all the magicians who are here, we have 100 plus watching us. And after this, they're
Oh
gonna.
well, I tell you what I am going to do for you, JB, is I've got the in about. If you send me the link, what I would do is I'm gonna put some routines together. I'm gonna put like a mini version of
Wow.
a lecture together, and I'm gonna
Wow.
send it over.
Maybe-
Some stuff that we can teach, and
Okay.
I'll send it to you privately so
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can put it in this group. As for actually performing tricks, I I love close up magic, and
Me also.
I know magicians, they just want the next trick, and I'm gonna put some stuff together now
That's
over the
good.
coming days and
That's good.
days and weeks, and I'm going to share it with the community.
That's good.
Just if it's of any use. But
Yeah.
for me, it's more about trying to think of ways to be original,
Yeah,
and trying to help people with that.
correct. Jamie, do you have any promotions like you want to like your page or I don't know?
Oh, that's
Of
very
course,
kind
there's
of you.
no shows today
I think
because there's a crisis,
no.
right?
No, I mean at the moment we are just if anybody wants to see the updates on these kind of things, then obviously I'm going to be posting it on the magicians' pages
Okay.
and the ones that you use, and beyond that, then on my public page we're going to be doing a live stream show starting
that's good.
next Friday, and
Is it
it's
more-
going to be next Friday night.
Is it more of a performance or a
It's
lecture?
going to be more performance. Magicians are going to enjoy it, but it is.
We'll wait for that.
Anybody can watch it.
We're gonna support
this
that.
is gonna,
Yeah,
Yeah, this is going to be starting next week, next Friday. I might move it to Thursdays. I'm not sure, but we think we're going
Thank
to do
you.
it on Friday.
Thank you.
And it will be available on my public Facebook page,
It's
which is Jamie Allan iMagician. So
yeah,
if you guys want to support me, the best thing you can do, like all of us, is go on and give the page
yeah,
a like so that you can see the
yeah, yeah. I'll
updates.
post
And
it.
we're
I'll post it
doing some
later.
interesting stuff on there.
That's the only.
And
That's the
if
one thing. Yeah. So
yeah, I was going to say, if there's anything that I'm doing for magicians, I'm still going to post it on the public page, but it will be via a login through my website, so
yeah,
magicians will know the answer to the question.
yeah.
You know,
Well, Jamie, what do you think about these revelations on YouTube? I mean, I'm sure you see them.
all the time. It's just something we have to live with. Hey, there's nothing that can be done
They
about it.
need. Do you like the magicians? They rant about it. Do you?
Yeah,
Do you?
yeah, the magicians
Of course, it
that I
hurts
think
us,
that
right?
everybody. I
I
think
feel bad
everybody is
about it.
just. Yeah, we all
I
feel
feel
bad, but I
bad
think
about it.
it's just been accepted now, and it's another reason to not do too many marketed effects. But also, the people that are seeing your show, they really don't.
Yeah.
They really don't look at this thing. I think that one key to combat it is not. This is counterintuitive, this advice,
Mhm.
because good magic you can describe in one sentence.
What?
You know, Di Vernon said that. You know, a good magic, the
That's
card was
great.
on the scene, the coin was in the bottle. You know, magic that relates to people is usually in
Yeah.
one sentence. However, that is also easy to Google. So if somebody's trying to work out how the trick is done, then I suppose finding something that is not easy to search with the
That's nice.
objects,
That's
you know,
nice.
magic. If you put magic
Yeah.
revealed in bottle, I'm sure you're going to find it. So maybe one way to combat it, and also this is a really obvious thing,
Mm.
but never ever refer to a trick by its marketed name.
Mm.
You know, like that's true of, say, the invisible deck. By saying I have an invisible deck of
Oh yeah,
cards, that itself is giving people
that's true.
the information they need to go and find out how it works.
But if it's okay if you post it on a private on a private group or page, but if it's
Yeah,
public,
I think
you don't need to mention like Jamie Allen's. I'm performing Jamie
no,
Allen's. No, even if it's Jamie Allen, I'm sure he's gonna be proud of it. But you don't need to mention his name. Like,
yes.
I mean, the public will see that, and there's no mystery anymore,
No,
right?
I know, and it's a hard thing. But again, it's just about trying to think about what you're saying. You know, trying not to use language that leads them to the method, so
Yeah,
they can search it. Trying to be original, or
yeah,
looking back. You know, I look in old books and try and find things that people aren't looking at anymore.
yeah,
The frustrating thing, though, is the copycat thing in our industry, that somebody sees a good idea and they just can't help themselves but say, well, I should do it. And I don't think that road really ever leads to anything good for anybody. Not really. You
but
know, and it's no making something original and performing it is one of the most rewarding things in our community. You can't imagine if you create something
mm,
that's new and you do it and the audience like it. I promise you, there's no feeling like it. You'll never
yeah,
get it from going out and doing the same thing,
yeah, yeah,
or finding. And I don't mean that to say everything has to be original.
mm,
Just finding a new way of doing something
yeah, yeah.
that's yours,
So
and then hopefully people will respect that, and and they will they'll hopefully let you have it. I think you get things for about 5 years before everybody starts to do it. That seems to be about the
but I
time.
don't think you cannot stop that. I mean, people
No,
are
you
gonna do
can't stop.
what you're doing. Like it's happening. It's happening. So yeah, when it
Yeah,
comes to that, well, like you said, copycats like piracy, and then copying of acts. It's all
yeah,
over, man. So
I
I
know,
don't
and it's in
know.
every industry. If even Apple can't stop these companies
Yeah,
making adapters to fit their things. I mean,
I,
in the whole world.
I was in that industry. I was in the telco industry. Cisco was number one, and then Huawei
Yeah,
copied the inside of the Cisco, and then right now look, Huawei is on top, and Cisco is, you know what I mean. But when it
yeah,
comes to the acts, it's so. Do you feel hurt when someone copy you without your
yeah,
approval?
yeah, yeah. I do. It does hurt, especially when it's something that's valuable to me.
Yeah,
I had a guy in Asia copy
in
my
Asia.
digital art a few years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he did it, and he did my split screens, and that was really, it really hurts.
Mm.
Um,
Did you
but
message him?
it's like, yeah, yeah, I did. And most of the time, I've usually managed to find a resolve with people. Most of the time,
Yeah.
but sometimes, it's just not worth it. I will try and protect the things, and I've never been scared to mount a legal challenge with people if I feel that they have
Yeah.
the money, if they have something to lose,
Oh
then
my
then
goodness.
I will
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to try and do it, but equally you have to balance everything
Yeah.
and your own
That's true.
time and the emotion you put into this thing.
That's true.
But really, they never get as far as the originator anyway.
Yeah.
It's better, and we've all had it in our lives, and we've all copied things in our lives, and it's an important part of learning in magic. and
Especially if
and
it's
I think that,
marketed.
yeah, and if it's marketed, and that's fine, and it should be, it should be respected when you have created an original
Mm.
presentation. I can understand why people go and perform it on smaller
Yeah.
scale events, and I think that's so. Also, to a degree, it's okay. The problem I have is if somebody copied something of mine and wanted to go and get the same work that I'm getting
Yeah.
and try and not only copy me but then
Yeah.
steal a portion of my income.
Yeah.
That's a big problem for me, and those people are the ones that I go after.
So, what do you think about? Okay, I know it's okay. Your iPad act. What do you call that? There's a
Digital art.
the digital art. There's a license
Yeah,
that's part of it when you purchase it, right?
there
So
is. Yeah,
there is. So like the same thing, like other magicians are selling their acts and their products. They are TV rights, right, and performances. So that really
yeah.
goes with the product, and we have to respect that, right?
When it comes to a larger performance pieces like illusions and that kind of stage work, that if they're more expensive, a lot of them will come with some kind of an
Yeah,
agreement, and it protects everybody. And I think it's a good way to go. It's very common in stage magic. That you pay
yeah,
the rights to.
yeah.
Say you want to use a Jim Steinmeier illusion, and you will pay him, and then you'll go and pay the builder that he says can build it,
Did you ever
and that's very, very common.
work with any builder? Would you name someone, or did you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my equipment that we sell out of the UK is built with Adam Topham at
Mm,
Illusion Craft, who does a
that's
fantastic
illusion
job.
craft. Yeah,
It's
they're
great at
expensive.
working with metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, some of them are, but also the props that we're building are expensive because of
The
the technology that's in them. The video system
That's
and
true.
the TVs alone. It costs a lot of money. Um, though I know iZag is not so expensive. It's pretty good price actually,
Yeah,
and um, and then of course I work with some builders overseas,
yeah.
and I've just done a deal with a builder that will be doing some of my stuff in North America.
Mm,
I won't announce that right now because
okay.
it's not really the time
Yeah,
to.
that's
But
okay.
yeah, yeah, but I'm going to release more and more of my stuff as the years go on because I really enjoy that creative process, and I'm also at a point now in my career where I've established my brand
You did.
and I've got
You
my
are.
show running, which is what I wanted to do, and now I'm taking great pleasure in helping others and letting them
That's
do
it.
some of my
That's it.
magic and letting
That's
them.
it.
I'm really proud,
That's great. Yeah.
uh, and yeah, I'm really really enjoying that.
Yeah. So maybe we can entertain some questions now. Here's one
Of course, if
from
anybody has any.
Adrian Poggy Boy. If you are to start from scratch today, how would you start doing making money with magic? Would you like to answer this?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think I would be better online than I am. I think my failing probably is I don't devote as much time to my online presence as I do
Okay.
to the live shows.
Okay.
And I know that if I was coming into it today and trying to get noticed, then I would put a lot of effort into
Yeah.
trying to make a name for myself online because it's cheap to do so.
Yeah.
And again, I know I feel like I'm always going to say the same thing over and over again, but I would say find one trick that is
Mm-hmm.
original.
Mm-hmm.
All you need, I'm saying, you could take what I'm saying as you need to be all original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find one thing. For me, it was the digital art. I
Okay.
created many things in my life. This
Yeah.
one was the one time I got it right, and that put me on 10, 12 television shows just with
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and that changed my life.
Okay.
So you only need one trick, and when you think about great magicians, how many of them can you say have just got really one thing that they're known for?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's most of them.
Just one trick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so there you go. I guess we made it more than 45 minutes. And
Oh,
it
I'm
was
sorry.
that was fast, no? That's if it's an interview, you really cannot limit the time unless it's a lecture. Like if it's a webinar, you can limit it, right? So, will
Yeah,
you
of
be
course.
really do you have any books, or will you be releasing any books in the future? Like,
I'm going to be releasing some online content over the coming months. There'll be 4 to 5 products available to stream from my website,
okay,
which will be, those are going to be a couple of things that are tricks, digital tricks that you can perform.
yeah,
And they are, trying to give something back to people that want to do something modern and with technology.
that's good.
And of course, and then I've got a couple of the higher end pieces like digital art, some of the big illusions, but some of
Yeah,
these other things are going to be more affordable, you
they
say.
are
And
affordable. The
also,
digital art.
yeah, we're going to be releasing a great system coming soon for anybody that wants to perform close-up magic in their show and have it represented on screens.
That's
We are
good.
going to be releasing the best product in the world, complete
That's
system
great.
for this, and it's going to be tiny, and it will be a whole
Wow.
show, and it will pack up next to
Wow.
nothing. And this is something that is going to be coming from me soon as well, which is it's going to be a great way of performing an entirely new
Yeah,
act.
yeah. Hey, let me ask you. You know Marco Tempest, right?
Yeah, of course.
I,
He's the godfather of this.
yeah. Like during his time, I tried to hack on how he's doing those things. So I was able to find some like open source. Diba? Like,
Yeah,
remember that the thing with the sketchpad and with the rest with the
yeah,
iPhone.
that's right.
But you see, technology is different now during his time. He was using those
Yeah.
old phones, and now it's different. Like what you're doing now is more different than what he's doing before, right?
Well, I mean, we're all just trying to find our own little place.
It's
I
an
mean,
advanced thing. Yeah,
my little space in technology magic is a full evening theatre show.
yeah, that's good.
That's my thing, and we are the only show
Yeah,
that does that, and that's
yeah.
what I'm
You
interested
that's
in
the only show.
is theatre. Yeah, then I have, like Marco Tempest is just incredible. The things he's doing, he's actually making technology magical. I'm doing magic about technology, which has some
Oh,
clever
that's good.
technology in it.
Yeah, that's a good.
But I mean, Marco is incredible.
Mhm.
He really is, and we all owe a debt of gratitude
Yeah,
to him. He's really is the
yeah,
godfather of technology magic. Of course, technology has always been in magic,
yeah,
but it's not been the subject
yeah, yeah.
of. But of course, if you go back to the 70s, you see people talking to a television set
Mhm.
and things.
I know that. I have
I bought
that.
a product. I bought a product, and if you work it out, JB, don't say who it is. But but I'll leave this kind of cryptic.
Yeah.
But I once bought a product from a performer that involved talking to yourself on a television, and I bought it because they wouldn't say exactly what it was till I bought it. And when I bought it, I realized I had created the same thing when I was 21 years old. And I did it with myself talking to myself on a TV set when I was 21. And I just paid hundreds of dollars to
Oh
buy my
my
own idea.
goodness. That's true. Sometimes you need to dig into it and just be wise, you know.
Yeah,
Hey Jamie,
yeah,
there's a question here. I don't know, maybe you can say hi to him?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, can you see the screen? Can you read it for us? From Dale?
Uh, I I can't see it on my screen here
Okay.
at the moment. I'm just glancing down. If you can read it out for
Okay,
me,
Dale.
JB.
Dale Rubio, he said, "Hi Jamie, being in Full Us, the next great magician and other TV shows, what is your favorite TV moment?"
Oh, Fool Us.
It
I
is?
loved
Really?
I loved it, and yeah, the guys were great. The whole
Of
experience was
course, they're
great.
Penn and Teller.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't respect them more. I loved Next Great Magician, and that was thanks to Andrew O'Connor that I did
Mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm,
And I enjoyed the whole process of Next
mm-hmm.
Great Magician. It was stressful though because I
Mm-hmm.
was doing some big stuff on there, and it was
Okay.
a lot of a lot of trouble, to do the double levitation and the water tank in those circumstances. It was very stressful. Whereas the Penn and Teller, I was doing my good old iPads that I know so well. So I think it was the first time I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it's refreshing. It's something new for people
Yeah,
to see. Even
yeah,
in
but
the
Penn and
magic,
Teller was great.
of course,
Yeah,
they know everything. I mean,
yeah.
some. So like,
Of
yeah,
course, I never intended to fool them. I mean, everybody knows I did the show
yeah, yeah.
just to get do the show. Of course, I'm not going to fool them pulling things out from behind iPads, but I knew it would be a good TV spot, and
That's good.
it's
That's
really good.
true.
It's a gift that keeps giving.
That's
It doesn't
true.
have so high a viewing
Yeah, that's
figures
true.
because I'll do a show in England that might have as many as 7 million, eight
Yeah,
million viewers when I like Michael McIntyre
yeah,
show,
yeah.
and that's a big viewing audience. But yet nobody knows me from that. But I
Mm,
get more people that will come up from shows like Fool Us,
yeah,
where it's got more internet
yeah.
presence, and the shows keep getting repeated all the
Repeated all the
time.
time in YouTube. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. So Jamie, I would like to wrap it up. So thank you for your time. But my take on this is I've learned, like what you said, you're not after being famous, right? Like I
not
guess
really.
I like it's also my one of my thing now in my mind. I'm in the industry. What is important is for you to sustain it. It's sustainability and
It's doing work that you
resiliency.
enjoy,
Yeah, yeah.
doing work that you enjoy, and that's what I want. Is I like theatre work. I'd like to have my own
I
space,
love that
and I feel that I'm in a good position now to
to
be
do
able
it.
to hopefully achieve that, and that's something that I would like. But
Can
I'm
I
having the time.
can I
You know.
perform in your theater? I'll visit you in,
Oh, of
in London.
course.
Yeah, when all these
Yeah, well,
things, I hope this ends right soon.
I wish you all the best over there, and stay safe. And well, I'd say wash your hands, but you're all locked in your houses now, so it almost doesn't make a big
Yeah,
difference.
yeah. So I have this with me always beside me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
any other questions? I think yeah, they're because I just posted this 20 minutes before we go on live, so I didn't
Oh,
like
okay.
promote it. So
Well, it will be available
yeah,
afterwards, and
afterwards, yeah,
if anybody has anything, we can always hook up and
yeah.
try and answer them. But hey, I appreciate you reaching out, and it's really, it's nice to talk to you, and I love the Philippines,
Oh,
so I hope you
visit
guys
us.
are. Yeah, no, I hope you guys are doing okay there, and
Maybe
let's hope that our industry comes back bigger and stronger with more originality and more positivity, as a result of this. Let's hope.
let's bring
One thing is for sure:
let's
when they let everybody out of the houses, the bars and the restaurants will be full.
I'm sure. And you know what? One thing that I am excited about this, I think you and I, all the magicians, all the entertainers, we're gonna be like, it's gonna be a blast because there's gonna be a lot of celebrations. All
Yeah,
the bookings are gonna be coming in. Although I had a lot of canceled shows, and like
yeah. It will take a little time,
take a
hey.
little time, but
But it will take a little time, but it will come back.
yeah, yeah.
It will come. It will change a little, I think, but it will come back.
Oh, one last thing, like during this time of a lockdown period, like you as an artist, so how do you, what do you do every day, like as a magician?
Well, I practice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be running my show once a week to
Mm-hmm.
myself
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure I keep it
Mm-hmm.
here. And I'm going to be working on I'm going to be doing the streaming thing, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be working on these new routines and also these new products. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use the time. I'm not one.
Yeah,
I don't relax anyway. It's always, if I go on holiday, there's
yeah.
a big part of my brain is always going around. um,
But you need a break.
so
It's also good for a holiday, so that there's a space for
Yeah.
creativity.
Well, in our industry, I think the work must be the reward. The work itself is the reward, and
Yeah,
for us, we're very, very fortunate to find something that we can make money with that we all love so
that's
much.
good.
That's
I like that.
incredibly fortunate.
Yeah, well, that's good. So one last thing, you can maybe a wisdom, a words of wisdom for us,
Oh, the words of
or
wisdom!
any
Wow.
inspiring thoughts from Jamie Allen. Goodbye
Well, I mean,
thoughts.
you know, from my point of view, guys, I just use this time. That's what we've been saying about, use this time to the best ability. Look at where you want to be when this comes out. And, this is a lot of time that we have given now, a lot of time that we have. And if we don't come out of it better, then there is something, there's something really missing. And if you love this, then I think that you're going to come out, fresh and new, with something new to offer your clients. And and just really keep the faith with it, because this will end, and afterwards, if you don't put the time in now, you're going to regret it, because you're going to see some of your competitors that have.
That's good.
And I just wish you all the best. I really do. It's a very difficult time, and I know that financially it's a very difficult time, but everybody will get through it. And I know that some people that are new to it, and some people that maybe just turned professional. I read some stories for some friends that have only turned professional in the last year, and they're really struggling because they'd only just made the difference. And it's I know that there's people out there that are not going to be so fortunate, and I just hope also that if you see somebody struggling, that we as a community can try and come together and help where we can.
That's good. Thank you.
Because nobody else is going to help us.
Yeah, it's just help one another, support one another, stop the bashing, stop the fighting. Jamie Allan.
Hopefully that will stop.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, brother.
Oh no, JB, thank you for asking, and you take care.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Goodbye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you.
See you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.